Good morning, class. As you can see, I'm not here today. We have a substitute. Since I can't be here to teach you face-to-face, I've created a video for today's math lesson. In today's lesson, we will be learning about two different types of graphs. We'll be learning about pictographs and bar graphs. In today's lesson, you will be able to construct a pictograph as a class, construct a bar graph as a class. You will be able to analyze both bar and pictographs, and we will discuss the differences and similarities between them. We will also discuss when it is appropriate to use a pictograph versus a bar graph. Let's begin. I want to start by asking you guys a simple question. Do you like pizza? I, for one, love pizza. So what I'm going to do is put a tally in the yes column. I want you guys to do the same. Take turns coming up to the Smartboard and using the pen to put a tally. If you like pizza, you're going to put a tally in the yes column. If you don't like pizza, put a tally in the no column. Once you've all made your tallies, look at the graph data. Do more people like pizza than dislike pizza? Which column had more? Is it easy to tell? How many more? Was that easy, or did it take you a while to count all those tallies? Consider if we had multiple categories. Say there was a yes category, a no category, a maybe category, and an I don't know category. If we had 4 different categories, do you think it would be harder to compare the different data sets? I think it would be. Do you think there's an easier way to display this data? Tally marks are definitely a great way to collect your data, but there is a much easier way to display it. Say we were going to have a class pizza party, but I don't know which toppings to put on the pizzas. I want to collect data about the class's favorite pizza topping. My favorite topping is sausage, so I'm going to put a pizza in the sausage category. I want you all to do the same. Take turns dragging and dropping the pizza icon into the column of your choice. Do you like mushroom, pepperoni, sausage, or cheese pizza better? Once everyone has had a chance to drag their pizza into their favorite topping, let's compare the data. Which topping does the class like the most? Which topping does the class like the least? If we had to choose only 2 toppings for the entire class, which 2 would you choose? Use data from the table to support your answer. I have a news flash for you guys. You just made a pictograph. Now we're going to play a drag and drop game. So you made a pictograph, but what is a pictograph? What does a pictograph do? What does a pictograph need? You're going to drag and drop the vocabulary words into the correct row in the table below. Let me show an example. Once you have the chart filled out, talk to your shoulder partner. Is there something that you think needs to change? Make sure you have what the class agrees is the correct answer. When you think you have the right answer, click Check Answer. Does your chart look like this? The order is not important. A pictograph is a graph that is used to compare two or more sets of data. It displays the data in a visual way by using what's called pictograms. Pictogram is just a fancy word for picture. The picture symbolizes something. In order to know what it symbolizes, you need a key. We'll talk more about keys in the next slide. A pictograph also needs a label and a title. Here we see the same chart again, but this time we have a key. Discuss what you think one slice of pizza should equal. Sometimes in a pictograph, the icon, or the pictogram, is used to represent more than one object. So say one slice of pizza is used to represent 4 people who prefer that topping. That would mean that half a slice of pizza would refer to 2 people. Half of the image is always going to be half of the number of the whole. Using this as your new key, fill in the chart again, using the same data from the first time. How does the graph look different? Is it still easier to tell than the tally chart? This is really helpful if you are using larger numbers. This is an example of a bar graph. Take some time to examine the different features of this bar graph. Locate the title, the scale, labels for the X and Y axes, compare some of the data. Use the text pen to label any features. Once you've finished labeling your sample bar graph, let's try and create our own. Click the Let's Try It link. The link redirects us to a website where we can create a graph. Select Bar Graph. You can format the bar graph however you like. Try to come to a consensus as a class. You won't need stacked since you're only really dealing with a set of data that's all related to each other. You can do it in 3D, horizontal, or vertical. I'm going to keep it vertical. Decide on a shape. You can do rectangle, cylinder, triangle, rhombus. You can do a pattern fill, however you like. I'm going to select triangle. Choose a background color, whatever you like. Choose the grid color, again, however you like it. Once you're done picking out the design, select the Data tab. Enter in a title for your graph. Label your x-axis. Label your y-axis. You don't need to enter the source, but you can if you want. You only have one group for your data set, so leave that at 1. But you have 4 different items. Label them with the different topping items. Enter in the values that you got from your data. I'm just going to select random ones. The minimum value you want to set to 0. The maximum value, set it high enough so that you can include all of these on your graph. So since the highest value in my sample is 9, I'm going to set the maximum value at 10. Once you've filled out all of your data, use labels. Since you're dealing people and not millimeters or inches or some other form of measurement, you don't really need a label. Customize the font with whatever you want. Just make sure it's something you can actually read. You can change the color too if you like. You can make it bigger or smaller. Click Preview to see what it looks like. You can click this tab at any point. It kind of looks like I have 2 bars. That must be something in the design. Let's try this. That looks much better. Once you have the graph the way you like it, you can either examine the data from right here, looking at it here, you can print out a copy of it, or you can download it. If you do choose to download it as a JPEG file. That way you can load it into your Smartboard lesson. Now I have 2 videos to show you. Click on the word Pictographs to watch the video about pictographs. Click on the word bar graphs to watch the video about bar graphs. Once you've watched both videos, discuss what you think the difference between the 2 are. Use the text pen to fill out the Venn diagram. There are some things about pictographs and bar graphs that are very similar. Think about what you need on each one, and think about what you use each one to represent. There are some things that are very different. Think of a few and put them in the right circle. Once you think you've figured out everything there is to know about pictographs, bar graphs, and their similarities and differences, you can move on. Your substitute will click the Start Question button, and you guys can enter your answers. A box like this should pop up. You will need this number and the number on the back and your student number to record your response so we know who sent in what response. You can also use a QR code. Well, that's all for today's lesson. Hope you guys enjoyed this lesson on pictographs and bar graphs, and I hope you learned the difference between the 2. Ta-ta for now.